90 minutes? That's how long it took.
Just an hour and a half.
For 15 high-ranking officials to sit down in this beautiful lakeside villa and, well, formalize one of the greatest crimes in history.
And that's the key word, isn't it? Formalize. This wasn't a meeting to decide if they were going to do it.
No, not at all. This was about the how to make it organized.
Exactly. We're talking about the Wannsee Conference, held in early 1942. By then, mass murder was already happening, especially out in the East. But this was different.
This was about making it systematic.
It was about logistics.
Yeah.
Turning the entire German state into an efficient killing machine.
So our goal here is to just walk you through the facts of what happened in that room, to show you how bureaucracy, paperwork, organization, meetings was turned into a tool for something absolutely horrific.
We'll look at who was there, what they actually planned, and the chillingly calm language they used to do it.
So let's start with the setting itself, because it's jarring.
It really is. We're not talking about some dark, hidden bunker. This was a luxurious villa on the shore of Lake Wannsee, a wealthy suburb of Berlin.
A peaceful place.
Completely peaceful. It was a comfortable, almost serene setting for a group of administrators to, do their work.
And the records show the atmosphere was just professional, detached.
Correct. There was no moral debate. The decision had been made. This was purely about the mechanics of what they called the final solution to the Jewish question.
So why did they need this meeting in the first place? If the killing had already started, why the sudden need for coordination?
Because it was messy. Different parts of the government were doing different things. To pull off something on this scale, they realized they needed intense, centralized coordination.
You mean getting the people who run the trains talking to the people who write the laws?
Precisely. And talking to the people who handle foreign affairs and the police and the civil administration. Every single gear of the state had to turn together.
And who was the person driving this? Who called the meeting?
That would be Reinhard Heydrich. He was a very high-ranking SS officer, one of the main architects of the whole Nazi system of terror.
So he's the one who wants all the power in one place.
Yes. Heydrich's specific goal was to get all these other powerful ministries to admit that he and the SS had the ultimate authority over this entire operation.
He was consolidating control.
He was making sure everyone knew who was in charge of the deportations and the killing across all of Europe.
Which really gets to the mindset here. It's not the kind of raving evil you might imagine.
Not at all.
Yeah.
These men looked at the murder of millions of people as a technical problem.
A huge, complicated administrative challenge that needed a logical solution.
That's the crucial thing to understand. Their focus was not on the human suffering. It was on the process. How many trains do we need? What do we do with their property? How do we avoid delays?
Their goal was to clear the continent from west to east, and they were just trying to iron out the administrative kinks.
It was corporate management for mass murder.
Okay, so let's talk about these managers. Who were the 15 men in that room?
This is so important. These were not, for the most part, frontline soldiers. They were educated civil servants.
The people who run the country day to day.
Exactly. Many of them had advanced degrees, especially in law. They were lawyers, state secretaries, the top administrators from all the key ministries.
So the people who would normally be handling things like taxes or infrastructure projects.
Yes. And Heydrich, of course, led the discussion. But there's another name that's absolutely central. Adolf Eichmann.
Right, I've heard his name.
Eichmann was the one who took the official minutes, the record of the meeting that we now call the Wannsee Protocol. He was the logistical guy, obsessed with numbers, schedules, transportation.
He was basically the project manager for the Holocaust.
In a way, yes. And just look at who else was there. You had people from the Ministry of Justice, the Foreign Office, the administration for the occupied territory.
It proves the whole government was in on it.
The entire state apparatus was being brought into the plan. There's no way to argue otherwise. And in all those 90 minutes, not a single person raised a moral objection.
No one said, wait a minute, what are we actually talking about here?
No. The conversation was entirely about practicalities, how to make it work, how to be more efficient. It's hard to fathom that level of detachment.
And the scale they were discussing, I mean, the sheer ambition is staggering.
It was continental. Their plan wasn't just for Germany or Poland. It was for every city, every town, every village, from the coast of France all the way to the Ural Mountains in Russia. Completely total.
And they had specifics, the documents, the protocol. It included a list, didn't it?
A detailed, meticulous list. It named 35 different European countries and gave the Jewish population for each one.
35. So that included countries they hadn't even conquered yet.
Yes, it included places they controlled, places they hoped to conquer, and, maybe most chillingly, neutral countries.
Like where?
Switzerland, Spain. Even Ireland was on their list. The ambition was truly global. Their inventory didn't care about current borders.
And what was the number? The total they were targeting?
According to their own documents, the list added up to over 11 million people.
11 million.
And that number, written down on paper by a bureaucrat, became the target for the whole operation.
Which brings us to the core of the meeting, really, the mechanics, the logistics of it all.
Right. How do you actually do this? And the entire plan rested on one piece of technology.
Of railways.
The European railway network.
Yeah.
You simply cannot move millions of people without thousands and thousands of trains. So they needed absolute cooperation from the Reich Ministry of Transport.
Which must have created a conflict, right? Germany is fighting a massive war. The military needs those trains.
An enormous conflict. The
Yeah.
army needed trains every single day for troops, for weapons, for supplies, and the officials had to schedule the deportations so they wouldn't interfere with the war effort.
So they're literally weighing military logistics against human lives.
And the military always won. It shows you how they viewed people as a secondary problem to be managed around a primary goal of winning the war.
And you think about the complexity. All the station masters, the clerks, the drivers, all part of this administrative chain of death.
And the transport was just step one. A huge part of the plan discussed at Wannsee involved forced labor.
Okay, so the plan was to work them to death.
Essentially, yes. They intended to march huge columns of people east and use them for heavy construction, like building roads.
But this wasn't about being productive.
No, it was a calculated part of the extermination process. They literally used the phrase natural reduction. They calculated, that vast numbers would die from exhaustion, from starvation, from the elements.
It was a way to get one last bit of use out of them before they died.
It combined exploitation with destruction. Human lives were just another resource to be used up and discarded.
And they were so obsessed with the system, with the rules, that they actually spent time arguing about really specific cases.
They did. They had these long debates about what to do with people in mixed marriages. People who had both Jewish and non-Jewish ancestors.
What was the debate about?
It was between deportation or forced sterilization. Think about that. In a meeting about murdering millions, they're debating the fine print of their racial laws.
It's a terrifying kind of legalism.
It shows their obsession with creating these perfectly defined, legally airtight racial categories. It was about legislating humanity away.
To discuss all of this, they needed a special kind of language,
Right.
a way to talk about it without, saying what it was.
And that's where the Wannsee Protocol, Eichmann's document, is so revealing. It's written in the language of deception.
Bureaucratic language.
Exactly. They use euphemisms, coded words, to mask the reality.
Can you give an example?
Well, they almost never said killing or murder. Instead, they talked about evacuation to the east.
It's evacuating.
Or the most famous one, special treatment.
And everyone in the room knew what that meant.
Everyone knew it meant immediate execution, usually by gassing.
So, using the sanitized language, it allowed them to discuss genocide like it was just another administrative task.
It creates a psychological distance. You're not planning murder. You're just scheduling transports and arranging for special treatment.
Yeah.
It also solidified the SS's role.
Making them the official lead agency.
Yes. The protocol made it clear that Heydrich and the SS were in charge, and every other part of the government was now formally required to support them with whatever they needed.
So after the meeting, what happens? How quickly does this plan go into effect?
Immediately. The impact was catastrophic. The pace of the Holocaust accelerates dramatically after this conference.
The machine gets more efficient.
Much more efficient. New, dedicated extermination camps are built in occupied Poland places like Treblinka and Sobibor, designed purely for industrialized killing with gas chambers. The coordination they established at Wannsee meant the orders went out everywhere, all at once.
And we only know these details because a copy of the minutes survived.
It's an incredible story. After the war, American investigators were going through mountains of captured Nazi documents. The Nazis had tried to destroy all copies of the protocol.
But they missed one.
They missed one. In 1947, they found a single copy that belonged to one of the participants from the Foreign Office.
And that document was everything.
It was the smoking gun. It provided clear, undeniable written proof that the genocide was a coordinated, state-level policy planned at the very top.
It's the evidence that connects the administrators in their fancy suits to the atrocities happening hundreds of miles away.
And that's why it was so crucial in the war crimes trials that followed.
Today, that villa is a museum.
Yes, a memorial and a museum. A permanent, chilling reminder of the cold, calculated nature of the Holocaust. It shows you that sometimes the worst crimes aren't planned by screaming fanatics, but by quiet men with spreadsheets and train schedules.
The Wannsee Conference really is a central lesson in modern history. It's about what happens when a state starts treating human beings as a logistical problem to be solved.
It's a lesson about the danger of systemic racism and how bureaucracy, without a moral compass, can become the most destructive force imaginable.
Remembering how a modern organized state did this is essential. It's about being vigilant against that kind of organized hatred and the quiet complicity of people who are just, following orders.
We have to remember so it never, ever happens again.
Good luck with your studies.